The Laboratory, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs.
Hi, welcome to the Laboratory video series brought to you by Miracle Innovation Labs. This is Ajay, working as a lead researcher mobility in Miracle Software Systems. In today's video, I'll be discussing about a conference mobile app which we built for Digital Summit 2017 with Ionic and Firebase. Now, let's move on to the agenda. In the introduction, we'll be discussing about the main purpose of the app, why we have built this application. Next, the main app features like attendee tracking, event search, push notification, etc. In the technology stack, I'll be discussing about what are the technologies that went into designing the mobile app. In the reference architecture, I'll be discussing about the mobile app, how the data is managed, which database we have used, etc. In the user experience story, I will be discussing about the flow of the application and what are the modules that are available, how the same app is being used for both the attendees and coordinator, and etc. And finally, I'll be giving you a live demo of the DS17 mobile application. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Digital Summit 2017 was conducted by Miracle Software Systems. In this summit, over 2,000 plus attendees took part in the event. The main purpose of the event is to make the attendees gain knowledge on the emerging technologies like big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, chatbots, etc. This event had technical sessions by IT professionals from Microsoft, Google, Oracle, IBM, etc. There are also hands-on labs on chatbots based on Microsoft Bot Framework and API.ai framework, and also mobile applications. We developed DS17 app, which was used to manage the summit as well provide the information of the events and the speaker details of the summit. The application was developed using the Ionic Framework, which is a hybrid mobile app framework. There is a leaderboard in the app which shows the top 10 attendees with the highest points by tweeting with the DS17 hashtag. The attendees can gain those points. This app is also currently available on the Google Play Store. Now, let's move on to the next slide. The DS17 app features. The DS17 app features, the first one is the attendee tracking. We track the attendee by scanning the QR code of the attendee to all the events he or she is attending. And the session surveys, user can feel the feedback of the attendee events and gain points. And in the event search, attendee can search the details of the events or sessions. The social gamification, the attendee can link Twitter account in the app and can tweet to gain points with the hashtag #DS17. And in lunch coupon, we scan the QR code of the attendees and assign the lunch coupons for their lunch. In the event notification, every attendee gets the notification sent from the admin reminding him of the upcoming events or sessions. So these are the main DS17 app features. Now let's move on to the next slide, that is the technology stack. We have used Ionic Framework, which is a hybrid mobile application framework for designing this mobile application. We targeted for Android platforms. So we used Android SDK to build the application APK. So we used Apache Cordova for various plugins like camera or QR code scanning. And we used Firebase for our backend as a database as well as for Firebase cloud messaging and Firebase storage. And we used Twitter for our gamification part. We used the Twitter Connect API over here. Now, the next slide, the reference architecture. As you can see, in the reference architecture for this application, we have used two databases. That is the Hubble database, which is our own internal database, which is based on MySQL. And the other database is the Firebase database, which we used. So now, first let's discuss the Hubble database APIs, what we have consumed in our application. So for the login part, we used the Hubble database API, login API, and the attendee data. So the attendee data can be searched, the attendees who are coming to the event summit. We search them by their first name or last name or phone number or email, and we get the data. And we scan the QR code and assign it to them, and there we use the attendee data API and assign QR code API. And the food coupon API we use to give the attendees the food coupons by scanning the QR code. Next, those are the REST APIs we have used. I'll be discussing about the Twitter ID and leaderboard next. So in the DS17, to connect the Twitter to the Twitter account, the user needs to enter his or her Twitter credentials. So after the credentials are authenticated, if it is successful, we'll be getting the user details. Along with the user details like first name or last name and the image of the user, we get the Twitter ID, which is unique for each and every user. And the same Twitter ID, we update it in the Hubble database along with the attendee ID who has been logged in. So, and the leaderboard score, we get the leaderboard score of the top 10 attendees who have tweeted and who got the highest points. So, in the next, we have used the Firebase storage to store our images that we are sending as notifications, or the speaker images and various other images that we have used in the application. The whole images are stored in Firebase storage. And the Firebase cloud messaging we have used for sending push notification from our mobile application as an admin to our attendees. So we use the Firebase database for storing the application data for the events and sessions and speaker details and everything. We stored it in the Firebase database. Now there is another application over here which we implemented, the Twitter dashboard. This is another application which gets the whole tweets based on hashtag DS17. Each and every tweet contains the Twitter ID. So we do the sentiment analysis in the Twitter dashboard, and based on the sentiment analysis we give a score, and the score is being updated along with the Twitter ID in the Hubble database. So this is the reference architecture of the application. Now let's move on to the next slide, that is the user experience story. In this slide I'll be discussing about how the application is being used in our event. And in this slide, I'll be showing you about two modules. One is the coordinator module as well as an attendee module. The first is the coordinator module. What the coordinator does is, whenever the attendee comes, the coordinator searches for the attendee data by giving his or her first name or last name or email or phone number, and searches for the data and gets the data and assigns the QR code for that particular attendee, and that QR code will be stored in our Hubble database. So each and every attendee has been assigned with a QR code. Next, so whenever the attendee is attending any of the events, so we keep track of the attendee by scanning the attendee's QR code in the events. So when the attendee attends the events, the coordinator scans the QR code, and the QR code is being updated in the Firebase database. By this way, we keep track of the attendee and how many attendees have attended the event, and all those details we can keep track of it. Next, so the attendee has attended a particular event, right? So that particular attendee will be getting the feedback of the feedback in the feedback page. He or she will be getting the scanned events of whatever he or she has attended. So they can give the feedback. Upon giving the feedback will be stored under the sessions so that we can use it later for our own purpose, internal purpose. So by this way, the attendee can give feedback, and also by giving feedback, the attendee can gain points, and the points are stored in Hubble database. Next, in the social setup page, as you can see, as I explained in the previous slide, upon entering the credentials, if it is authenticated successfully, we get the user data over there, and the Twitter ID will be updated in the Hubble database. Next, this is the Twitter dashboard. That is a separate app, as I mentioned in the previous slide. We do the sentiment analysis with the hashtag DS17, and we'll be updating the score based on the Twitter ID in the Hubble database. So the same as we have all the scores of all the attendees who have updated, who have tweeted with the hashtag DS17, the top 10 users will be displayed in the leaderboard of the mobile application, so that at the end of the day we present it with some prizes. Next, the notifications part. In the notifications, whatever the notifications that are received by the attendee will be stored over here. Also, the same with the coordinator also. The notification sent to the coordinator will be stored over here. In the event search, if the coordinator wants to view the events, then the coordinator can view it in the event search section, same as the events in the attendee. So that's the user experience story. Now let's move on to the live demo of the DS17 mobile application. So now we have two modules, that is the coordinator module as well as the attendee module. Now first I'll be logging in with the coordinator credentials. So this is the home page that we get, that is the assign QR code. I can search for the student with name, email or phone and assign a QR code. Let me search an attendee, Ajay, and if there is already a QR code, it will ask us to update, or if a QR code has not been assigned, it will open the QR code scanner. So let me just click on Ajay, and it has already a QR code exists, so I'll just update it, and I'll just assign a QR code. As you can see, a QR code has been assigned to Ajay. So now, as the QR code has been assigned, so this is the purpose of the assigned QR code. Now let's move on to the next page, that is the event scan page. So the event in the event scan page, as you can see, the digital summit was conducted from 13th December to 15th December. We have all the events where we can scan for the attendees. Wherever the attendee is attending, we can keep a track of them by scanning the QR code. And I'll just scroll through a few sessions, and let me pick one of them. Let me choose the code once and everywhere, and let me just scan. So I just scanned the QR code, and I'll be getting an alert saying that since the QR code has been scanned, so the QR code which we scanned previously for an attendee, we are scanning the same QR code. So I just don't want to continue. I'll just add another session to scan. So this is another session. Let's assume the attendee is attending. So I scanned his QR code. So the event scan is successful now. So these are the two sessions we just scanned. So we will be getting it in the user in the attendee module. So let's move on to the event search. So in the event search page, we'll be getting all the details of the events or sessions or lab demos that are being held in the summit. So in 13th we have a few sessions, and in 14th we'll be having the sessions and demos, and 15th also the same, the session and demos. So let me choose any one of them, and as we click on any one of them, as you can see in this there is the title as well as the venue and time over here. If you want to see a clearer details of the event, we can see the whole details, the details of the title and everything, and we have the speaker details. If I click on the speaker detail to view, I can click on the eye over there, and I can see the speaker details over here, the name and the title and the organization and the biodata, if the attendee, if the coordinator wants to see it. And here in the event details, we can see the title, complete title, as well as the location and the time and date, as well as the complete abstract, even if the coordinator wants to know what is being going on. in the summit. So now let's move on to the next details. So these are all the event. This is how the event details is. So now let's next move on to the next page, that is the notifications page. The notifications will be received over here, which is sent by the admin. So this is how notification details is. So this is all about the coordinator module. Let's now move on to the attendee module. So let's log out and enter the attendee credentials. If you remember, we have scanned two sessions for the attendee which he has attended. We will see those two sessions in this feedback. So after the authentication is successful, the first page we see is the event search page for the attendee. So this is the event search page which is displayed according to the dates. So these are all the pages that are available for the attendee: the feedback, social setup, leaderboard, notifications. So in the event search page, that's the same function as in the coordinator module. If we want to see any of the event, we can just click on it and we can see the details of the speaker and abstract. The whole details are available over here. So this is the speaker details. So now let's move on to the next page. That is the feedback page. As I told you, we have scanned two events or two sessions for the attendee. As you can see over here, we can just provide the feedback and the attendee can gain points. Let me just click on one of them. So I can just the attendee can just give feedback over here, and after the feedback is successfully submitted, we get a pop-up toast notification. Yeah, so feedback has successfully submitted. So after the feedback is successful, we will be only left with one. The user can give the feedback to gain points. Now let's move on to the next page. That is the social setup. The social setup, the user can, the attendee can integrate with his Twitter account, his or her Twitter account. As I already have an application in this, so as I click on link Twitter, so it will be linking with the inbuilt application in the mobile. If there is no application, for example, so the Twitter Connect API asks for the credentials. As there is already a Twitter application, so it just connects to it. Let me just click on connect. Otherwise, it will ask for the Twitter credentials. So as you can see, after it is successful, we'll be getting the social setup page. And here we see the tweet with hashtag DS17 and gain points. And when I click on the Twitter icon, I can directly tweet using the hashtag DS17 from here itself. So after the login is successful, we are sending the Twitter ID to our Hubble database, as you can see, as you have seen previously. So this is the social setup page, and those are the current points that I got. So let's move on to the leaderboard page. In the leaderboard page, as you can see, I have the 53 points, and these are the top 10 people who got who have scored highest points, and we have awarded them with prizes at the end of the day. So this is the leaderboard page. Now let's move on to the notification page. In the notifications, these are all the notifications that were sent by the admin during the sessions to the attendees. If I click on one of them, I will be seeing the details of at what time and by whom it was sent, and what is the session about. That was the notification that was sent during the session. So this is all about the notification details and notifications. So this is all about the attendee module. So thank you for viewing our video. For more videos like this, please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching The Laboratory, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs. For more on innovation, please visit miraclesoft.com/thelabs.